your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
All right, good evening to you on this Monday night. Another overcast, gloomy evening. Roofing Doug at Casey Summers' camera. Quiet, though, no precipitation here to start off the week, but we are forecasting that to change for us here in just a couple of nights. There's the cloud cover you can still see across much of the state, and temperatures that are running into the low and mid-30s. 33 in Effingham, 32 in Champaign. Again, for the most part, no issues here as we go throughout tonight. Down to 30 degrees at 11 o'clock. We're going to come back and talk about how another round of wintry weather is headed our way and some big-time cold. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
How serious is sexual misconduct on the U of I campus? Why the numbers might just shock you.
An infant that small can't tell us what happened.
A woman who runs a daycare was arrested. What police say she did.
And they're accused of shoplifting. Why, after a police chase, those charges are more severe.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
They're able to tell us with almost absolute certainty that this is shaken baby.
A 6-month-old is recovering after police say the child was shaken by a daycare worker. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Jennifer is off tonight. 49-year-old Carmen Petak is facing aggravated battery charges. She runs a daycare out of her home in Mattoon. Police say a baby she was watching was taken to the hospital for brain injuries. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting is live in our newsroom tonight. So, Courtney, how did police find out what happened?
Well, Jessica, police say Petak eventually admitted she got frustrated and shook the baby, but not at first. The baby was taken to Sarah Bush Lincoln on January 23rd. Now, they were later taken to Barnes Hospital in St. Louis. Doctors there told police they could tell this baby wasn't hurt from an accident, like a fall, because they only had head injuries. Doctors said that almost always means they were shaken. When police confronted Petak about that information, she admitted to shaking the baby out of anger.
We have a great partnership with doctors when it comes to doctors and nurses when it comes to shaken babies, that they keep us very informed on what the conditions of the child means.
Petak was a state trooper for 4 years. She was one from 2006 until she resigned in 2010. Petak had been operating her daycare out of her Mattoon home. I called today to see if they were still in business, but no one answered. We also called the daycare a few days ago, and the woman who did answer the phone had no comment. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Courtney, thank you. Mattoon police say DCFS is working with them on this investigation. We reached out to DCFS today, but have not heard back. Police arrested 2 people for shoplifting at the Old Navy in Tuscola and then leading them on a chase. Police were able to catch up to the 2 suspects on I-57 by the Curtis Road exit. They tried to drive away and crashed into a pickup truck. They were also hit by a semi after that. Police say the 2 suspects then got out of their car and ran up the ramp. They were eventually taken into custody. Tyler Welch and Taya Washington are both facing charges of retail theft and eluding police.
Here's a follow-up. We have new information about a U of I police officer accused of misconduct. We told you about Brian Tyson last summer. He was placed on administrative leave after sexual harassment complaints. University police say Tyson's no longer being paid or completing any work duties for the department while, quote, processes related to his employment are ongoing. He went on unpaid status in December. In a statement, the department says it's obligated by university policy and the collective bargaining agreement to follow a, quote, process for discharge, and that is what they are doing. A 28-year-old man from Decatur has been arrested and charged with attempted murder. Police say Tracy Lee Cunningham tried to stab his mother to death using a large kitchen knife. She was able to escape with minor injuries and to her wrist and ear. Cunningham is being held at the Macon County Jail. His bond is set at $25,000.
We have an update on a murder case. Jury selection is complete for the man accused of killing a Mahomet woman over a decade ago. Michael Henslick was arrested in 2018 for stabbing Holly Castano to death at her home in 2009. DNA evidence from a cigarette led to Henslick's arrest years after the murder. Henslick is accused of stabbing Castano 60 times and assaulting her. Police say he admitted to the crime, but he pleaded not guilty in October 2018. If he's found found guilty of one or more of his murder charges, he could spend 20 to 60 years in prison, but prosecutors plan to seek a life sentence. His trial will start tomorrow morning. A Chatham teenager who came down with the flu has died. We told you last week Joey Santos was taken from Springfield to the St. Louis Children's Hospital because the flu turned into pneumonia. He was then put into a medically induced coma. The Ball Chatham School District sent out this statement saying in part, quote, "Our hearts are breaking to learn of the passing of GHS junior Joey Santos today. He was an amazing young man with limitless potential." A new report is looking into sexual misconduct on the U of I's campus.
About 1 in 5 women says she has experienced a type of sexual assault on campus. Some university officials say the university needs to maintain its urgency in addressing these findings. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays is on campus tonight. So, Jamie, what did students have to say about how the university responds to this issue?
A majority of the students thought it was likely or very likely a report of sexual violence would be taken seriously and their privacy maintained. Now, the survey says most students did not report any sexual assaults, but almost 20% of women and about 4% of men reported they had been raped during their time at the university. A higher percentage of undergraduates, students in Greek life, and women with disabilities said they had unwanted sexual experiences, and about 36% of women and 13.5% of men reported at least one experience with stalking. I spoke with a faculty member who was on a committee to reconsider the university's existing policies on consensual relationships.
My hope is that the committee reports will prompt various actors on campus to implement the changes. And I think if that's the case, not only with a greater ease of sanctioning, but also a message that non-consensual sexual activity is not permissible, is not appropriate, is not something that the university condones.
The survey also had data on cyber harassment, sexual harassment, and dating violence. And as I said, students did have positive beliefs on how Illinois responds to sexual misconduct. About 2,000 students responded to this survey. About 12,500 surveys were sent out. So researchers are just reminding people that these results are not necessarily indicative of the entire student body. Live in Urbana, Jamie Mays, WCIA News, your local news leader.
Certainly a lot of aspects to take into consideration, certainly with a lot of online social media aspects to consider, but no means no at the end of the day. Jamie, thanks. Among the students who had experienced sexual misconduct, over half had not told anyone about their experience before finishing the survey. People who did tell someone mostly told friends and say they found talking about it helpful. Decatur's police chief says out of 34 total arrests for driving under the influence, 4 were for marijuana only. Chief Jim Getz says those numbers are in line with arrests from previous Januaries. Several were a mix of alcohol and marijuana. Officers can bring those suspected impaired drivers in, and if the person gives permission, blood can be drawn. Getz says the number of tickets for possession of pot dropped to 4 in January, compared to more than 30 in the past. 3 of the tickets last month were for passengers.
Even if you're a passenger in a car, you can't smoke it. You can't have an open container of it. And so that's, one thing that maybe the citizens need to know. Yeah, cannabis was legalized January 1, but there's still some things that you can't do, and that's one of them.
Getz says his officers aren't just looking for people driving high on the roads, but distracted driving overall.
Since making it into the polls, the Illini have lost 2 straight. So are they still among the top 25?
Also tonight.
Not all of us can become famous, but each and every one of us can have greatness.
He was known for locking his entire basketball team out of the gym and sending them all to the library to study what Coach Carter is doing in central Illinois.
And as we recap today, high temperatures made it a little bit closer to average, 34 degrees, 28 for the low. As we look at the Roofing Dog at Casey Summers camera. All right, we're going to come back, talk about how that sun may return a little bit tomorrow. Then more snow and some of the coldest air of the season is on the way next.